Hello and welcome back. This is Sherry with Heart and Soulful in the studio with the much anticipated vintage book paper pack. So I created this paper pack after having just the most fun little shopping haul for some old books. I love old books, especially smaller volumes. So I decided I would do a video of that little shopping haul that I was so excited about. I could put a link down below in case you missed it and you wanted to see the whole thing, but this is kind of the highlights. So I decided to go ahead and make a paper pack with these little volumes so that I can share them with you. I decided on 6. 5 of them came from that one shopping trip. A couple of the other books that I really hoped I would get into this pack, I was not able to get scanned the way that I wanted. So I happen to have this little French book that I decided I would add it to the collection. So there are 6 total. These are my original books. They're all from the late 1800s into early 1900. And I decided on 12 decorative pages, and then I did throw in one additional that I'll talk about here in a second. So when you go to my Etsy shop, and I will put the link down below for this listing, this is the thumbnail that you'll see in the front, and you can see all 6 volumes on this. Each volume I did 2 pages, so they're all 8.5 by 11 pages, 300 DPI. And I have printed them today on Epson presentation matte paper, not the premium presentation matte that I had been using, but this is on just a little thinner. I think it's 27 or 28 pound paper instead of the heavier 44, 46 pound. So that's what you'll see. I've also printed them on fabric, and the reason that I did the fabric, I also have a video for how I print on fabric, and I will include that again at the bottom in the description. You can always find that in my tutorial playlist, and that's where you'll find anything where I'm doing some kind of a demonstration. But if you've never printed on fabric, it's really easy, at least the way that I do it, and I haven't had any issues. So I like printing it on fabric so that I can make an actual book cover. And I did a video when I did my book haul video. I actually did the demo how I made this cover. So I wanted to show it to you again in case you haven't seen it. This is made from my scan, and then I printed it onto fabric and then made a little book cover. So this is actually the same size as my original book. And you can see if I just distress this a little bit with some more aging, it would be almost hard to tell the difference. You can, when you do these, and I mentioned it in my demo, is, this is getting some damage to the spine. You can also do that in your reproduction by tearing that fabric before you attach it. So that's just kind of showing what you can do with these. Obviously, you can also print them on paper and use them that way, but I wanted to print on fabric, and because they're all kind of fabric book covers. Well, not all of them, actually. 3 of them are like fabric book covers, and then 3 of them are more like paper. So you can do that either way. So again, this will be the first thumbnail that you see, so look for that. And then this one I've printed, this is the little Bible, and I've printed it on fabric, and I do that using sticky back paper. So watch the other video and I'll actually show you, but I've just used a full sticker sheet to attach my fabric and then print it, and then I can pull it off and use it that way. So this is the first book. And then for each of them, I also did a collage, and I tried to do everything so that it was its actual size. I will show you at the end what happens when you print not borderless. My printer allows me to print borderless. And so if you do that, you'll get everything the exact size of my originals. So I actually have taken a couple of pages out of the inside so that if you wanted, you could use that as your liner paper on the inside. But then I also had another idea, and that's the extra sheet that I'm going to include in the kit. So, but each book will have a double page, And then just some other little elements. If there was handwriting in the book, I kind of isolated that so that could be used as like little embellishments for tags and belly bands and that kind of thing. You can add to those, but these were all just little things I isolated from the actual book. So each one will have that page. So this is Ray's Arithmetic book, and this is again printed on fabric. And you can do different kind of covers. You know, you might, that one had, the Bible has a nice big wide spine because that's how the book was. But this one you could actually even do just a really flat kind of notebook too. So that will be the math book. And then I just loved in this math book, all of the chapters had these beautiful headings. And so instead of making one for I have two of the arithmetic books, a pink one and a blue one. I just went ahead and took all the stuff out of the blue one because it actually had more interesting titles and things than the other one did. So I've put some of them on here. And then with the pink one, this one, the cover actually is really dirty, but it's a little more legible. I didn't clean or do anything to these books. This is the condition that I have them in. So this is also Ray's Arithmetic, but with a pink cover. And then again, all of the different chapter titles. And I just love they're each one different. So I thought those would just be really fun for embellishments. And then this one here is a nice pretty cover again, done on fabric. And this one, the spine came out really nice. So I think that would make a really nice book with a spine for a journal cover. And this one's in German. It had just the most beautiful text. So I may be doing another set. When I named this one, I named it Volume 1 because I'd like to maybe do some collages and different things with the different text inside of the books. And then a little French volume. And it had some kind of damage to the cover, and I didn't do anything to it. I just, left it like it in the condition that it was in. But I think with adding like vintage photo and distressing to that, that'll look really nice. I still have it on its backing, but it's also just printed onto fabric. This is just kind of a nice, easier way to store it if I actually leave it on its sticky back. And then the pages for this, a couple of them that I was able to get a good copy of just the spine. I thought those make nice bookmarks. So I've just another couple of pieces of that. And then the little Romeo and Juliet. And this will make a nice kind of flat little notebook because that's kind of how the original is. It's just this little volume. So I plan to do one like that. And then actually for that one, I also have the sheet that has just a few little things from the book. But instead of doing the liner paper for this one, I'm planning to use some of my coffee stained paper. Instead of the text for the inside, I'm going to use this. So this was a piece of my coffee stained paper. This was done on 28-pound paper. And I just like the weight of it for the inside of a book cover. So for this one, I left it its original size and just folded it up for a pocket. So the inside of the front and back cover will both have a little pocket. So that made me decide that I wanted to include a piece of my coffee stained paper in the kit. So I've scanned this side and it can be printed both sides if you want, so that when you fold it up like this one, you'll see the coffee stain on both parts. So you can just copy this on double-sided. And again, this is 28-pound paper, which is a nice weight, but of course you can do it on whatever you want. So I have included that. So there's actually a total of 13 pages in this kit. And then I wanted to show you also is if you don't have borderless printing and you print it out, it will have a white border all the way around, and it will kind of shrink everything to fit within that space so that you get the entire design, but everything will be a little bit smaller. But it will be that way on both the covers and the pages, so it still should be the right size if you do use these for the inside covers of your books. This one has quite a large border around it, and that's because I didn't adjust anything in my print settings before I printed it. When you go into, depending on what kind of computer you have, to print your page, if you look down, it might not show it at 100%. It might have it scaled down a little bit, and that will leave you a larger border. I always check that and then make sure that I put fill entire page. And that way, even if it's going to print a border, it will have a much smaller, probably less than half the size of this little white border that it leaves. So it'll make everything a little bit bigger. So if you're just brand new to this and haven't worked with digitals before, I just wanted to point that out, because these are printed out onto 8.5 inch by 11 inch paper. That's US letter size. But the design ends up a lot smaller than that if you don't print borderless, or if you don't tell it to fit your entire page. So that's just something I wanted to point out. Okay, this is not obviously the same paper pack. This is the paper pack I'm working on for my my Bodhi journal. But you can see that this border is much smaller. So this is what my printer would do if I didn't tell it to fill the entire page. This is what it does if I tell it to fill the entire page. It still leaves a border, but it's much smaller. And then if I print borderless, then it goes all the way to the edge. So I just want to point that out in case you've never tried printing digitals before, and I'm claiming that they're 8.5 by 11. So they really are. It just depends on what your printer settings are. So that is my paper pack share for today. And like I said, I will put links below for the other videos that I mentioned. So if you have any questions, please put them in the comments below. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. And I am going to get back to work on my Bodhi journal. So have a great rest of your day. Now go make something. Bye.